left a fight with some lizard bug things, and you decided to continue traveling down to Ripple Mid and trying to get down to Ripple Downs to gather some more information and get some dues from your businesses and honestly get some nice respite. You travel down, and then with a beautiful, most terrible roll you can get on a polyhedral dice set of 7 with a 1 out of 100, you by chance summoned a rock to come and attack your caravan. You fought it, you ran away from it, you burned it several times with fireballs, shot it, covered it in darkness, all sorts of things, and it ultimately decided not to continue the pursuit of the group as a whole, instead settling for the score of a tasty horse, snatching one right off the front of your carriage and flying away into the night to enjoy its meal and recover. You continued back on the road down to Ripple Mid, and you arrive in the middle of the night. It's probably about 2:30 here or so.
There's a bear pulling us. And he's got candelabra headlamps.
Yeah. Somebody please try to mid-journey that or use an AI in that. A bear with 3 horses trailing or dragging a caravan with gothic candelabras with a dwarf and a sea elf piloting the vehicle.
Can't do it.
The sea elf is the bear.
Oh, that's right. The sea elf is the bear. So a dwarf.
It's me and the dwarf.
And a vaguely Russian white-haired woman piloting the vehicle. All right. So you guys get into town and things are quiet. You hear the rush of a river to your left, a bit of mist kind of drifting over it, and the rare places where the candelabra breaks through some of the tree line shows off some of the river. There is a kind of a heavy evening mist that flows over it. But overall, it seems rather kind of calm. What do you do? What is your order of business at this time?
I think we need to find a place to rest.
There's an inn in the town here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, if that's the same one we went to when we met up with you guys.
It's a sea mist.
Yeah, that is an available option. It's further down in the kind of in the southeastern part of town. Just going on there.
Nobody's out, right?
Give me a perception check.
Alright, this is great. Love it.
Oh no, here we go again.
There's the physical dice.
Oh no!
You didn't cleanse them from last week?
Just getting physical. Screw it.
Apparently
Some
not.
seriously whittled wood that you've got over there.
Scouting duty. Oh man, the grain is so interesting on this little piece of wood. Like every time I carve it, it seems like it changes.
If I remember,
direction.
if I remember correctly too, I think Dro's just sitting on top of the wagon above Marco.
With his feet dangling in Margot's face. Yes, yes.
Mhm.
You know, I'm suddenly feeling a little less bad that Margot almost fireballed you.
Hey, as far as you guys know, Dro is being a superb lookout.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I could
Mm.
be looking out too, but I can only see 10 feet from the carriage.
Yep.
Not very useful.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I was working on
Nah.
your vision. Yeah. Basic vision.
It's 10 feet farther than you'd normally see on a carriage.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Did that weird.
That's it.
Yeah, this is weird. Margot, you should not be having as much vision as you do.
I see the world right now. It's like well over 60 feet.
Margot sees
I can see at
everything.
least half the map. Not half the map. A quarter of the map.
Oh, well, I'm jealous because
I can see
I
ridiculously
only see,
far.
like, yeah, that much of the map.
I see.
Alright, I'm gonna reset the fog of war here. Let's see here. How we
Now
doing?
I see 75 feet.
Wow.
That's very bizarre.
We're all out here measuring how far we can see. I can see this far.
Yeah, I've got you on basic vision. So I don't know why that's working that way.
I mean, is everything essentially, like, gray for you, though, Margot? Like, black and white?
No.
Oh.
I see colors. I
What?
see color.
So do I. Mine
Yeah.
makes sense though. Because of a feat, so unless Margot stole my
Oh.
feet.
Margot's just...
You know what? It might be because before we did that different feat, I had another feat on there. Before we did the homebrew feat. Let me see if it didn't take it off. Let me try something real quick.
Welcome to D&D, folks. This is...
Troubleshooting
Sorry.
101.
Yep, this is what it's like some days using Foundry.
Just kicked me off. Hold on.
Alright, let's just see how good my dice are today. Oh.
Why are
no.
they pure black? Like,
What? That looked like it was on an 18.
What is happening? Okay, I need a refresh too, I think.
Yep, I'm refreshing also.
My dice so nice. I have like a rollable area and I didn't see my dice come out at all.
Everybody refresh.
Well, it
Alright,
fixed
let's
my
see here.
dice.
Dolphin. Okay, looks reasonable. Margot, reasonable.
Yeah, my dice aren't completely black. They're like
Hmm.
really fossilized amber.
I think, from my perspective at least, as I'm checking out everybody does seem to have the right vision at this time.
except for Margot.
Is it maybe because it's registering you with like your true sight?
No, because my true sight should only be 60 feet too, and I can see over 80 feet, or up to 80 feet right now.
That is bizarre. Let me just drop you down a little bit more. What about now, Margot?
So I can see, like, this is like bright light out to 60 feet, but I can still see everything out to 80 feet.
Resetting the fog of war once again.
That's 60 feet now,
Okay, cool.
which I would have
Not-
with my true sight for sure.
Yeah, not sure why you have 60 instead of just like the
0.
candelabras, but close enough.
It'll buff.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, couple of you, being Leo and Seamus, you have been here before.
I say we just go to the inn.
Are you talking the one that when we met up with you and your
Yes.
ragtag?
That's right. Yeah, Jiro and Yaslin have been here before too.
It's like a one night, I think.
Yep.
This is where we left Nim and
I remember.
Yeah, you try to make friends with the
Quarter and
I think I'm doing a lot better on the whole friendship thing than I was back then, okay?
That's fair. Seamus, would you want to check on them in the morning? See if they're still here?
they may even be at the inn. It's hard to say where they've set up camp. They may have even moved on to somewhere more hospitable from them. I think the turtle was from the area. That's what Leo called it, right? The turtle.
Yeah, turtles. That's normally what they are. I mean, it's kind of weird that this world doesn't have turtles, I guess.
Hate that I rolled a 1.
Yeah, well, that's what you get when your digital dice voodoo is weak.
I think Margot has passed it over to me finally.
It's gotta go around.
Thank God.
No. Yep.
Oh,
It's like a bunch of high schoolers passing around mono.
Oh my gosh. There are some stories from high school that I have.
No.
Sure.
Oh dear.
But
Core memories unlocked for Lily.
yeah, oh my gosh. So like sidetrack. Essentially a bunch of band students shared a cup of Nutella with one spoon, and it wiped out like at least a quarter of the band.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was bad. Thankfully, I was not dumb enough to share Nutella with one spoon with everyone else. But, yeah.
Yep, that sounds pretty awful. Alright.
Memories.
So, you guys go through the town. You see, like, essentially windmills and water wheels, grinding stations, fishing areas, places where they would dry hides or dry herbs or meats. This is a very working class town. And you just go along and it's just quiet. Things in here seem to be just simple for the most part. It's probably the most kind of normal living space that you've seen on journeys. It's not often that you see a place that is just meant for people to live. Only takes a few minutes to get down and get to the right side of the village. I'll kind of drag everybody. Oops, like that. I drag everybody
It's
along
like-
so you get like a general layout. I'm just gonna. Oh, I think I may have lost a candelabra. Oh, no, we got it. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Don't go that way. There's not a You try to go that way and then realize there's a bridge instead of an actual like roadway. So you with your cart to go around. I love how as I'm moving this, some of the tokens are getting further and further away from each other.
Yeah, I'm like, what? The candelabras.
The candelabras are running away.
You do have to cross a bridge a little further down, but it is much sturdier, meant for wagons and such.
Where exactly supposed to deliver this wagon, by the way? I know here, but where in here?
I think Ripple Downs. We're in Ripple Mid.
Oh, was it all the way to Ripple Downs? Oh.
Aw, shit, we gotta deal with this for more.
I ain't rolling. I'm not rolling the D100.
Listen.
It worked out so well last time. I'm gonna hijack that listen from Lily for once. Listen, it's fine.
Listen.
What are the chances of you rolling another one?
No. You shush.
Like, not, like, it's like 1%. It's less than 1%, honestly.
Because he's already rolled it once,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just rolled another
So
one.
the probability is even lower, right?
I just rolled a 1 on the
That's how
first
that
roll.
works.
Right, but that was a D20 roll. That's a 1 in 20, not a 1 in 100.
Yeah, you still got a 5% chance, essentially. Of
There's a part of me that
rolling
wants
that
to
one.
roll a 100 just to see.
Yeah, do it!
At least get it out of the way now, just in case for later.
Now.
Oh, that's not terrible.
Still not rolling.
That one's definitely jinxed, and the next roll is a 1.
Rewatching that this week or last week was just like punching myself in the face again.
Did it hurt? Just a little bit.
Alright. You guys, come on down. There's stables along the way to kind of park the cart. Very easy to just pay the guy a couple of copper. House things for the evening. You take a bit of time to secure any of the damages that came to the cart. Primarily the acid spray. There's a Sandu is a well-versed merchant, and he has a few extra planks and nails and stuff to kind of help things out. So it's a kind of a rush job, but you gotta secure it up, lock it up, and he even like attaches like a couple of like metallic bells to it. If anything comes in and tries to bother us while we're asleep, we'll know about it. And you come across some nice lights, a couple of shrines. The forest is calm and relaxed around you. There's a long bridge swaying back and forth, and you can see.
Sorry, I was gonna say this before we left. I just couldn't pull up my character sheet in time. I'll cast alarm around the cart.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
I'll race you across the bridge.
he's already running.
Give me a dexterity roll off for both of you.
I'm just...
I swear, if one of you gets a 1 again, I'm throwing you in the river.
Ability
I
check?
got a 15.
Dirty 20.
Alright.
You're versing a monk in Dex.
Listen, it was worth it. I just a little behind you. It's because you got that little jump of a head start, okay?
The minute she said race you across the bridge, poof.
Oh, Dauphin, are you still Doff Bear?
Yes, currently.
Alright, let's see if I can... Interesting. So, it's adding new tokens as I give you wild shape or not.
That would explain why I kept using my ability call. Once again. I lost my ability to see.
Yep. Oh, interesting. When I revert it, it deletes that token. Strange. We're learning things, folks. Lots of things to learn today. Okay, maybe it's giving you crap because you're not the owner. Nope, you should be the owner. Can you see now? Yes?
No.
No. Reset, perhaps? Or refresh? We'll find out about Dolphin's visibility in a moment. Okay. For some of you, this is a familiar scene. For some of you, this is new. There are winding paths that just kind of lead up to a series of kind of cylindrical buildings with little domes on top. And they go off and beyond even the boundaries of this map. It's kind of like a bunch of this hill is just kind of littered. There's a few available. Some have like lights on, several of them are lights off. But a lot of you, or several of you, know there's kind of the main area is down here a little ways further. Dolphin, visibility on refresh or no?
Nope.
Boo. How about now?
Yep.
Okay, that's bizarre. Okay. So, updating the prototype, so hopefully that won't happen again. Alright. Where are you guys going? What you doing?
Trying to find a place to sleep.
Just-
Jordan.
Yeah, Dro beats Yaz and just turns and gives her shit.
Yeah, keep smiling.
Smiles even bigger.
Kind of feels right.
Leo walks by and kind of pats Dolphin on the shoulder. Like, come on, buddy. The bridge should hold. You'll be fine.
Just gonna look down at the bridge, just kind of stick out a big paw and touch it. See if it can hold at least a little bit of my weight.
It sways.
Very well. We're gonna put half the body on.
Seems to be doing just fine.
Alright. We'll start slowly, cautiously walking across.
It's been a while since I saw a bear try to do anything like that.
Just kind of side-eye.
I meant it as a compliment. As he continues walking. Also, if you ever have any desire for work in the merchant and transport business, I've got need.
Like the little bear roar. Roar.
Any of you know how to interpret that?
No.
Oh, good, it's not just me. Right. Shall we? Sleeping? I kind of like, this just... Criminy, am I missing part of my beard?
Probably.
Not near the end of this from the other merchants. Oops. I'm just gonna look ahead. We going?
Delicious.
Alright, we open it up and there's a rather luxurious little entryway into just kind of just I guess a welcoming reception area. There's a single well-dressed, fur-bowled man, all balding on top and on the sides, and he's like looking at a bunch of papers and organizing files. He looks dapper, prompt. This does not look like the type of guy who sleeps during the night shift. He is proficient and productive in his role. He looks all at you. Welcome to the Sea Mist Inn! And, or should I say, welcome back to the Sea Mist Inn. That's lovely to see most of you again. Several of you again. I don't believe I've had the pleasure for some, but... He looks at Margot, and he looks at Sandu. Says, my name is Andaman Durrell, and you are...
Margot, looking for some rooms.
Well, that we have. It's like, I haven't stayed in this particular place before, but it's been, I think things are a little bit different this time around. Zandu, part of a merchant crew that runs up and down the mountain. I'm sure we'll do business from time to time moving forward. Kind of gives him a big clasp of hands. Well, welcome. And let me see. And he like opens up a book, flips back to a certain day, and like grabs, like starts fingering through it. And if I'm not mistaken, Seamus Dro Yasler. Is that correct?
That's right, you should have received your delivery from the cafe already.
Indeed I did. They were quite popular.
That's great to hear. I'm sure that you'll keep that a steady order.
I believe I shall. And, quite frankly, the quality was much higher than anything I can get here in Ripple Mid. And this tries to cater to those that are a bit wealthier, who are traveling back and forth. They were greatly appreciative. I think it will be a bit of a staple moving forward. Thank you for the wonderful business idea.
I'm glad I could be a help. If you're looking to expand your business any farther than that, you'll just let me know. Could we get some rooms for everybody tonight here? Do you mind? You've got a room for us here.
Muted.
I think you're muted.
I do. Is the bear with you?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I believe he's mostly house trained.
Ah, that's a problem. Definitively or not. Like, definitively or nothing else is all we would accept here.
Dolphin, I think you need to change back if we're to get the rooms.
Can I
Change.
look back over at the river? Just see how fast the currents are going.
Oh no.
It's not terribly fast.
He's sleeping in the river.
I am very tempted to just, trot back down the path as a bear and then transform back and hop into the river and just trance for 4 hours. I don't really need a room to sleep. It might just be wasteful on me. So I'm curious if I can roll any checks to make out whether or not it seems like a comfortable enough place without me getting swept away in the current.
Yeah, I'm not even going to make it roll a check for it. Your nature skills are suitable enough. Easy. There's a couple of places where you could kind of like set yourself in a tide, in like a little bit of a tide pool where it kind of like slows down and stops moving and then kind of like gently flows out in the opposite direction against the river to be swept away in the opposite direction. But anything of weight would likely be safe. Pretty easy to tell.
I'm just gonna continue standing at the edge of the staircase and then slowly stick my head in, and I'm just gonna go, and then turn around, start walking back down the stairs.
Help!
I think that's
I'm
no.
in line link with him.
Oh my gosh. Here we go
Said
again.
you don't want me to jump in your mind, but if you won't talk to us like a human, this is the only way I can talk to you. Are you okay? Where are you going?
I don't think I'm able to respond. I think I'm able to understand what she's saying, but I can't speak regularly.
Telepathically?
Probably would
Let's...
think in your own native tongue since you
Language,
retain
yeah.
your intelligence and wisdom. You wouldn't be able to vocalize because your like vocal cords couldn't do it, but I
But
would
this is
think you would
telepathic speech.
think in common. You must not be housebroken. You know what they say about bears in the woods.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as an action, when you're speaking telepathically to a creature, you can give that creature the ability to speak telepathically with you for the next hour. So, yeah, you are able to talk even while in bear form.
Alright, then I shall respond in bear form and be like, well, I am going to the river, and I'm going to transit the river. I shall be much closer to the wagon, and just in case something were to occur, I will be able to get to it fast enough.
Okay. Sounds like not a fun place to sleep. And then she's gonna say out loud to the group. He's going to sleep in the river, I believe.
Immediately turns towards Leo. Didn't you do that? Last time we
No.
were here?
No. I slept by the river. Benji slept.
Just kind of looked at him.
This spot, like right over here, Dauphin, kind of like on the side here. And please ignore the turtles, which are on the map, which none of us recognized last time. Because those are not
Wow.
What is with you
It
guys and
probably
sleeping outside?
Go ahead.
You'd be used to it after a while.
Okay. You never camped outside?
Obviously I have. I've had to travel, but I much prefer the comforts of a bed with a bath and cleanliness. I'm in the military. I know how to sleep outside. Does not mean I enjoy it.
Yep. I don't doubt that.
Fair enough.
So, how many beds shall we have? Six
I
of
want
you,
the bed for sure.
right? No, and just for the evening or carrying on afterwards?
Just for the night. Passing through.
Oh, well, perfect. Well, in that case, right over there, that one is available. And that'll run you for all 6 beds up in there. Run you about 3 gold for the evening.
I've got it. You guys can head up.
We can roll twice.
How late in the night is it at this point?
There's this awkward moment where Leo and Yaslin like both like jump on the bed at the same time and like land next to each other.
Like, wait a second. Fine, I'll test the other bed.
It's very early morning. You guys left basically as crippled top was getting ready to move so they could pack the cart. You know, essentially it was like the early morning for them to get the cart ready and for you to shove out. It's probably been about 4 hours or so since then with the attacks and whatnot. So you guys are very early in the morning. Yeah, maybe around 2 or 3 a.m. or something.
As soon as everyone's left, I'm gonna ask the guy, do you have about paper and ink, roughly 20 gold worth of paper and ink that I could purchase from you?
20 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan also here.
Miss, do you know how much that is?
I would hope you have quality ink and paper, amounting to approximately 20 gold.
I appreciate the enthusiasm of my wares, but this is an inn.
Great.
Not a printing I do, but I don't need wizard quality paper to keep records. And he gestures to his bookshelf over here, which is like 15 feet worth of shelving. He's like, for what I have on hand, what you're asking for is approximately the entire shelf. I could give you a recommendation for where you may be able to get that. However, there's a it's
Do you think...
sorry, the
So
prone
you work here
dropped.
tonight, right? We're gonna sleep for like 8 hours, right? Will you be, if I paid you 30 gold for the room, 20 gold for the high quality paper and ink, an additional 5 gold to run the errand, would you be able to get that and have it waiting for me when I wake up?
He just sits back and thinks for a moment. It's possible.
Additional 5 gold for discretion, and leaving my companions. 10 gold
Certainly.
to make off of this.
Understood. It is my pleasure to serve and accommodate my patrons. I can make it
Just
happen.
gonna give him 33 gold and then go to the room.
Excellent. Okay. As you guys are going back in, this is the same room in which you left your previous companions. And they are not present.
Is the room still full of vines from him?
Give me a
Oh, is this
perception check as you try to check things out.
100% guidance? No, that's not the guidance. 12.
12. Okay. This room over here has a very different decorative motif than the rest of things. You are in hollowed out trees that have been like capped with domes.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd everyone go?
This one here seems to have taken that kind of lavish luxury style inside of a tree and abandoned it. And instead it looks very much so more like things have just been reclaimed by nature. It's like sleeping in a forest with, if the forest had grown to make a bookshelf and grown to make a bed and layered it with lavish greenery. It's far more subdued than when Nim was in here last time. But it looks like permanent change.
To know.
And Sandu walks down and is like, my, this is nice. Don't mind if I do to kick my feet up. Listen to the sounds of nature outside while feeling it inside, but not the bugs. And
Margaret walks in about a minute later and just
Dro's
collapses on the bed.
Dro's just eyeing you.
Bro, it's rude to stare.
Lays on the bed.
You stare at me quite a bit.
You also talk into our heads, so.
This is true. Have you gotten any better, maybe asking before?
Sure.
I was gonna let it go and not roll inside.
But now I
But
feel
based
kind of
off that.
obligated.
Oh, wow. 22.
What are you trying to insight?
Just see if you're lying.
That's sure. That's sure.
That I've gotten better at,
Yeah.
at asking consent? Absolutely not.
Yeah. This
This is a lifetime of habits you're trying to break in 2 days.
Progress is progress, but I don't think we've made any progress forward yet. And that's okay.
It's more of just how you answered that, and Dro just wanted to poke at the bear, basically.
Yeah, you're still staring.
Dolphins in the river.
I should
He's like,
start touching
what?
you.
Poke the bear.
I was there with you, Morgan.
Thank you. I'll take the pity laughs.
What did Margot say?
Oh, I said I should start charging you because he said you're still staring at me. I should start charging you.
Hold on. Okay. Just when she says that, all of a sudden it gets really dark where she is.
Thank you. It's too bright anyways, and she's gonna roll over and crawl under the covers. I'm gonna say,
The minute she says that, he drops it and casts dancing lights next to her head.
oh my goodness.
No sleep for Margaret.
Eventually, when I imagine she just like tosses and turn away from the light, he'll eventually drop it.
Do not get long rest. Do not regain.
Oh, she's one of those people who buries under the blankets, under the pillows. She burrows.
I can move the lights.
Leo grabs Marcus and lays him over his head like a night mask, and Marcus just kind of droops over and sleeps quietly. I work with children.
Yeah. If he doesn't stop after a while, she's gonna cast dancing lights. Oh, I'm sorry, dancing lights. She's gonna cast dispel magic, and then if that doesn't work, she's gonna mind silver him.
Eventually, he'd only do it for 15 seconds. Because it would blind everybody else.
We're not getting to mind silver point.
There's a moment where Kenji comes over and is like, then turns around and goes back to his corner and snuggles back in. Okay. Any further discussion or actions by anybody before you toddle off to bed?
Bro,
Uh,
you finished that whatever you were carving?
no. We were. I kind of ran into an issue. A flying one.
Okay, well it was dealt with.
I mean, that's fair, but to answer your question, no.
Tell me
No.
making.
No.
I'll ask tomorrow. He rolls over.
Out loud to the group while laying on his back. Are we planning to leave immediately in the morning? Or is there anything we want to do while we're here? I don't, but I don't know if Leo, Seamus, you wanted to check on... Oh, I couldn't remember their names. Nim and Nort. And I can't remember the other one, but those three.
Nort and Corin.
Yeah.
I do want to know what happened to them. I know Kenji wants to know.
Go on.
We should ask
like
about them for
talking.
sure.
He's talking with Marcus over his head.
You can inquire about them in the morning.
Seamus, did we have any other business here? You're kind of the one that keeps track.
I think we're good.
Okay.
I'll check the I'll check my notes to see if we have any collecting in town here for any bounties that we've done along the way. I don't remember if they were paying here for the fire flower or not.
Where?
And I might talk to the establishment owner about franchising. I haven't decided.
Is there a light in here that hasn't been created by any of us?
Yeah, there was at this time, like, as you guys start to, like, wind down, there's a little light up top that started out, like, kind of a bright yellow and is, like, faded down to, like, kind of like a very dim, bluish, dark light.
I think as long Joe's gonna look around, make sure everyone's eyes are closed or rolled over or something. He's gonna cast minor illusion for the aurora lights that he's familiar with. He just kind of stares up and watches them.
Okay.
Just for a little
Sounds
bit.
good.
I'm gonna darken the 5-foot square that I'm in.
I think Troll would be the last one to fall asleep. He'd make it a reason to be the last one to fall asleep. And I think, even though Dolphin's not in here, he'll just kind of look at the group and I think actually smile. As he looks between the lights and looks at everyone in the group. Even Margot, even though she's giving him shit this whole ride.
He loves it.
I think eventually drift off. So the lights, the illusion would drop.
Okay. Dolphin, anything that you're doing out there?
Going into a trance.
Any any ritual or anything that goes along with that as you're in the river?
I think with Dolphin, as he is just kind of floating back and forth in the river, he's going to just start thinking of the past, specifically a lot of the spirits that he's come in contact with in the past in nature, and he's going to, as intelligently as he can, just kind of go back and forth in his mind and comparing his interactions with animals to his interactions with people in the past 48 hours since he's met everyone, and just kind of compare and contrast the goods and the bads of hanging out with animals versus people that, talk back. Make him think.
I imagine it's a bit of a more like a trifecta of comparison as opposed to a duality comparison, because you interact with spirits, you interact with people, and you interact with animals all three of them have different behaviors.
Yes, they're all very strange and different to Dolphin, but there are two that are familiar to him, and the third one is rather quite unfamiliar. So I think as he jumps through hurdles in his head and just thinks through stuff that allows him to pretty easily go into a trance and just calmly think through things and let the water soothe him and wash away some of the pain and tiredness from shaking and casting spells and whatnot.
Okay. Alright. The night is calm. There's a sense of a release of burden, as none of you have to be on watch tonight. Or at least that you deem it unnecessary. There isn't a part of your mind that is reserved for jolting up in the middle of things and surging into battle. The entirety of your psyche is allowed to relax and rest and succumb to the needs of respite. And it's lovely.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first long rest. We didn't long rest in the woods at all on the way down.
I don't believe so.
So this is the first long rest after recovering from the dream
Mm-hmm.
fight. Okay.
Yeah, you had long
I mean,
rest
slept
after
just
the dream
after.
fight.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So you all drift off. You do get a long rest. No need for rolling or anything. And things begin to light. Oops. And I made a mistake, so I had to turn off all my lights manually. Woohoo!
How do you actually long rest?
Underneath, in the same box as your hit dice, there's like a S rest and L rest right underneath your hit dice points on your sheet in Forge or Foundry.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
The morning comes and you all feel rejuvenated. It's the type of sleep where you feel pretty heavy afterwards. Like your body relaxed to a degree that your muscles like kind of squish in on each other. And you wake up a little bit stiff, which is easily rectified by a stretch or a routine or something. That kind of heaviness tends to bring solid recovery.
Margaret would
Who's
get
up
up
first?
and start her stretching. Oh, Dro's up,
Yeah,
right?
Oh,
Since you're
actually,
first.
Dolphin,
Yes,
you'd be up first.
4 hours before.
Mhm.
I'm going to use this opportunity to just get up, head on over to the wagons, take a look to make sure that, somebody didn't just hop on the front of the wagon and leave.
Mhm.
And then I'll just, like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, something like that for you, yeah. Well, between about 6 and 7 or so. And Dolphin, as you kind of wake up underwater, still feeling the river just kind of flowing around your skin. Give me a perception check real quick. Okay. As you kind of like open your eyes, there's a moment of like kind of bleariness almost. You're totally used to the sensation of like water rushing across your eyes. It doesn't bother you at all. But you see your three spirits in miniaturized forms, not about the size of the tokens that, or the the totems that you sewn them with, kind of all pointing in the same direction as you wake up. Kind of like swim back and tuck back into their totems.
Keeping an eye on you as I use this time to relax. I really appreciate your friendship. What with you, without me, without the others that I travel with, it means a lot to me. With that, he's gonna go ahead and swim over to the rocks and start climbing.
And you feel like a reciprocative sense of gratitude from all of them, like a you're welcome to your thank you.
First thing I'll do is I'll head over to the wagon and just go check on that, make sure nothing's exploded or anything.
Everything seems to be fine on the wagon as you go over.
Alright.
Nothing of concern.
Very well. As I check on the wagon, I'm gonna turn back around, and I'm just curious, is there anybody out and about? How's the city looking around this time?
Around this time, people are starting to move. This is a place that people wake as the sun wakes, because there's work to be done during daylight. We've got kind of a hodgepodge of just regular folk beginning to start their day.
Very well. I'm going to go ahead and make my way back to the tavern, or to the inn, and head back up into where I had seen, or where I had left the party last night.
Mm-hmm.
Area. And I'll knock as I enter.
Okay. And you hear a, oh, come in. Oh, so welcome to the Seamus Inn.
Hey, hello.
You're looking for accommodations for the night.
I do believe it is morning. Sure.
For just a bit more time, depending on your preferences. Morning, nights, nocturnal and diurnal customers, we serve them all.
Oh, I see. Actually, I am not looking for any rest. We have already met. However, it looked very different when we met just a few hours ago. I was a rather large creature, a bear.
Oh! You were the bear.
Yes.
Well, that explains why you weren't attacking everybody, I suppose.
Oh, well, I do not try to attack anybody at lethal, unless I absolutely have to. But yes, this is true. There are very many bears out there who are very nice and very tame. You just need to know how to speak with them and work with them. Bears are very nice creatures. Perhaps not as nice as a crab, but they're still very nice.
You seem well connected to the critters of the world.
Oh, indeed I am. It is what my trade is in. Tell me, what is it that you are interested in?
I take pride in making people comfortable. This world is dangerous, frightening. and can put people in an awful space more often than not. I do what I do here to make people feel at peace, even if it's just for a night.
It's quite natural. Tell me, you must see very many different types of people.
Oh, indeed. Admittedly, we do cater to a bit more wealthy of clientele, but even with that filter applied, we do see many folk here.
For me, as I do have ulterior motives in this conversation, and I wanted to be as transparent as possible because it is only the proper and polite thing to do. I am in search of information. Information regarding the fauna of areas such as this, and perhaps the fauna of distant lands. Would you happen to have ever come across some form of perhaps a biologist or a scientist might study such things, perhaps that lives in town, or if I am very fortunate, would happen to be here now?
An interesting line of inquiry. Let me see here. Nobody like that lives in town, unfortunately. There's no location where they could find where they would be able to work properly. So, I have had a few come and go, however. If you're looking for biologists, and you said fauna specifically, right?
Yes, indeed. I am far more interested in animals than plants. Not very good at speaking to plants. They do not like to talk back.
You may want to speak to somebody. What was their name? And he goes back and it was about 4 months ago, I would say. He grabs a book and kind of opens it and begins to skim through, similar to how he did with the other folk, or the other party members when they came through. Let's see here. Ah, yes. Stayed for 3 nights. I won't tell you when, that much is confidential between me and my guests. Ayala.
Would you mind giving some form of description, or did you know where they were going, or is this information also confidential?
It is not common that I give information out for my other guests. Your line of inquiry seems innocuous. Go ahead. Oops. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
It's a 10.
10. I'll give you what I can without breaching confidentiality. Ayala Rockenfort is her name. She went to Keravat, and she mentioned that she was going to stay there for some study for a while. Killavat is just south of the marshlands, which are south of here. I believe she had interest in understanding the connection between the land, the fauna, and the people, if you can call them that, there.
Why do you say the people, if you can call them? Are they not people?
It depends on your perspective. I do not care what someone looks like, as long as they are someone who seeks the comforts of my inn. But many would consider them monsters instead of people.
Well, I actually feel what people would consider to be monsters. I actually track them quite a few. They follow me. They speak to me. They watch me. These things, they are dangerous to most people. If they think that they are hunted, I do believe, and I do wonder, if it is simply a perspective thing. Do these monsters, do they always attack? Do they always aim to hurt others?
They are more primal than most. And savage. But I have had the pleasure of knowing a few of them. And while they can feel quite intimidating at first, they are certainly different. But they have just as much culture as you and I, or needs, desires, wants, hope for growth. There's plenty that makes them, just another type of people. But there is also plenty that makes them dangerous.
Yes, I see. What you describe, it sounds very similar to some of the things that I have found back home. The LSU blue, the shark, they all live by their own societal understandings with each other. And most people, if they were to come across a shark as they were swimming, they would be absolutely terrified. But the shark is just as terrified of us as it is I wonder if these creatures are quite rather similar to Harrisman.
I haven't heard of the glue myself, but they are ultimately, in my opinion, misunderstood.
I think I understand that a little bit more than I was expecting. Thank you for the conversation. It is not often
You as well.
that I get something that I want to express. And he's simply just going to walk towards the inside of the inn.
Sure. It was a pleasure as well. I don't believe I caught your name. He sees you walk up the stairs.
Dolphin is just gonna stick his head back in and will go, "It is Dolphin. It is not Dolphin. It is Dolphin. I am not a sea creature, but I am supposed to. It was an accident by my parents. I think."
No. I think. Oh no. I've definitely called you Dolphin a couple of times, just because, I read it with an extra L.
The best part about creating the character was coming up with a name and going like, yeah, this name sounds really good. I like this name. And then it wasn't until the first session where you guys started going dolphin. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure that was me who said dolphin. No.
Of course I made a sea guy who transforms into sea animals and has sea creatures. And his name
And his
sounds
name-
like dolphin. It was a complete accident.
Mm-hmm. And just kind of cinematically as Dolphin leaves the room. I love my job. Today I met some sort of a whisperer of spirits. I stay in one place and the world comes to me. And it just gets back to work, just making some new records and checking out a couple of people that come by. Alright, and Dolphin gets up to the door.
So, is the thing in front of me just basically a giant room that houses multiple people in it, or is there like an area that I'd be able to go make breakfast?
It's basically just like an area that has enough beds for everybody. But you know, there's a couple of counters depending on what you're gonna make. If you're intending to use fire, this is probably not a suitable place. But if you just need like a countertop, you can probably use like a couple of the dressers or something.
I will just simply, so as to not disturb anyone during their rest, I'll just go 3 or 4 steps from the door, just sit there, kind of wait, look around at the hilltop, see if I can see any birds or fish swimming below or animals moving to and fro, just living life, loving life.
Yeah, easy to do. There are several. No, the birds are starting. Those that wake up early are starting to call and enjoy themselves as they wake up from their rest. And as you look out, you see the river kind of on the right-hand side, and you see several little, like, bobbing, almost like lanterns that just kind of sit there and bounce gently up and down. And there's a fog on the river, and it kind of, like, illuminates little spots along it. And it is fairly peaceful.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out here for a couple hours. I don't think Dolphin would really willingly run into town and start talking with people and trying to find any information. He's just a very social guy. And
Sure.
I'm not gonna call out any birds or anything. Just let everything go about its morning business.
Okay. Alright. Next up, anybody doing anything specifically as they begin? Sleeping in, cool.
If I can get away with it, and if somebody wakes her up, she's definitely like 10 more minutes. No, 5, 15, an hour.
Margaret would try to get up early and then make her way out, try to get the paper and ink, but also do her morning stretches, like down by the river, the Tai Chi stuff she does.
Mm-hmm.
Easy
to do.
Let's see, Joe would just get up and go outside. Fresh air. Probably sit underneath a tree and go back to whittling, letting everyone sleep. Out of sight so Yaslin doesn't know what he's whittling.
Don't worry, she'll sniff him out when he's distracted.
And Margot, you go back in, and you respond, "Ah, Miss Margot.
Yes.
I was able to get in contact with one of my associates who has high mobility, and was able to get you what you requested. Here,
Thank you.
you're very welcome." If there's any other errands that you require, please let me know and I will see if I can accommodate. That particular associate does need a bit of rest, however.
Understandable. Then she's gonna go find a quiet, secluded place by the river and write 2 different letters with that paper and ink.
Go ahead and you can move yourself around the map wherever you like. And Dro, same thing, you can put yourself wherever you are. Oh, okay. And Dro, as you kind of like wake up, do go through the reception area.
Yeah.
Says, Master Dro, just a moment. And he reaches down and grabs an envelope. This came for you in the night.
Just like mid-stop. Okay.
It was addressed to you?
Do you... You know what? And he just go ahead and takes it with him. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. It just came via a Nulock messenger.
Is... How do I ask this? Do I recognize what it's in, I guess? How it's presented, how it's sealed up, anything? Or does it just look like just a basic letter?
It is familiar.
Okay.
It's essentially like a black paper with one side that is kind of like that fades white into it. Only lasts about a couple of inches on the letter itself.
So he will again turn. Thank you. If the rest of them come out and looking, just let them know I am. And he kind of at this point door open where you can see out, seeing the closest tree. I'm over that area. And then he'll just start to walk out, staring down at this letter.
Certainly, Master Dro.
He stops. You don't have to call me Master. Dro's fine.
As you wish, sir.
He just kind of nods and makes his way over to the tree. Then opens the letter.
I'll send you what it says.
Yay.
And just as a note, while she writes these letters, as soon as she completes writing them, she like kind of blows to dry off the ink, and the ink disappears.
Okay.
Of course it disappears.
Marco's writing letters. Dro's getting them.
Mm-hmm.
She's writing
All
letters.
day.
No.
Secretly, it's Margot. Could you imagine? Yeah, Master Tro.
Oh god.
No, it would have said, like, Zotdro.
Still same reaction.
He's like, you can never escape it now.
Okay. Alright. A little bit of lettering going on back and forth. The rest of the crew, anything specific as you wake up? It's easy enough to acquire food. Andaman does have like a breakfast hall that he can direct you all towards, and it happens to have some Bilesmeyer pastries in it.
Some feet starting the day with a pastry.
Among other things.
Oh. Yeah, so I think Yaslin gets up, does like a stretch, and then like seeing that maybe some of her companions are already awake. Is kind of like glad that they didn't wake her up.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the smarter move. She heads down and is like, "Oh, have you seen any of my companions?"
Variously, yes. Drow, several of them have just wandered off. I expect you'll
this
just
is.
see them around.
I think I spotted Dolphin just kind of looking out a window.
I believe he's been there for some time, just taking in the surroundings.
Alright. Do you think you could point me towards where the food area is?
Oh, yes, just up the way. I suspect you just have to follow your nose. But up the way, straight on from the bridge, second building on the right.
Wonderful. She turns and cups her hands to her mouth. I'm getting breakfast if any of you want to know where I am. It's up north or something.
There's also some like road signs that like kind of point to now that it's light out.
And then she walks out.
If there's nothing else for the group, then you guys have some breakfast, kind of get yourselves together, reconvene. Somebody at some point has to wake up Sando, and he's like fallen off the bed and like sleeping on his shoulders with his leg up on the bed and just snoring so hard. Just as soon as somebody wakes him up, he's, "No, I'm awake. Time to go."
We're gonna grab a bite to eat here first, but then yeah, we're out of here.
Right, breakfast. That means ale. Let's go. Gets up and goes and gets himself tidied up and goes and enjoys the breakfast with you guys.
Dro, Margo, getting breakfast. Don't want to miss it. It's the most important meal of the day.
Breakfast
She's
of
like a
champions,
nurturing
they say.
He's like, do we even hear her?
I think we hear her.
I feel like Yaslin, when Yaslin wants to be loud, she can be pretty loud.
And
Considering
he,
she's not like she didn't even see you. She just projects voice.
yeah, and the guy's like, please be considerate of the other guests. Many of them are still sleeping.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Miss Yaslin.
They walk past me on their way out.
I don't walk past you as I'm yelling.
Yeah.
But here's my question: would I clock them before they clocked me?
I don't know, do a perception check off.
I guess I'll...
Oh, with Yaslin versus, well, Dro, you've got a higher perception check, passive perception than Yaslin, so yeah.
Yeah, my passive is 15.
And
I'm
she's
not really
being loud.
trying to hide. Yeah.
When that roll is good. That was a 24 too. when he'd see them start to come out, it would, at that time, would do the one thing that I sent you, Morgan, and after that, go back to whittling. But when he sees him come out, he'll start to put his stuff away, especially when Yasmin starts yelling and start to stand up and make his way over to the screaming woman.
That's
Sounds
his
good.
most important meal.
You let everybody know that, didn't you? Just
It
walks
is,
right
yeah.
up behind you.
What? What? Where were you?
Just turns and points at the tree. Sitting
Oh.
there.
Yeah, maybe I didn't need to yell that loud.
We are in a
Not
city.
intentional.
I mean, I could see you walking. You were
But
right
people
there.
don't pay attention.
Yep. He's just staring at you. Do you want food? Let's go.
Yes. Yes. It's like drags everyone in there. We're going to get food. I think it's up here. This building.
So easy enough to get some food, get some breakfast, get yourselves kind of settled up for the morning, and get back on the trail unless anybody wants to do anything more specific.
Weren't you guys gonna look for somebody in town?
True.
I think that was Ramus volunteer.
Yeah, I should have checked in. Actually, I forgot about that. So, yeah, I would just ask about them at the front desk there. What had happened to our compatriots that had been staying there?
Ah, yes. Mr. Seamus, there is something for you. He reaches down and grabs two letters, and the first one on top is just looks like a folded brown piece of paper stuck together with some sort of like beeswax or honey or sap or something. It's a very wrinkled piece of paper. The other one looks like it's actually included inside of an envelope with a bit of a wax seal. They left these for you. They did stay here for some time and then decided to move on. And was only able to reverse a bit of what the green one did to my room. But she did pay me for it, and I've decided the effort to reverse it was not worth the cost, so now it's I'm charging a bit of a higher price for the destination style room. I'm sure you understand as a businessman.
That's a smart move.
Quite.
Well, thank you for the letters
Very welcome.
and your hospitality, and we'll be sure to send you your next Biosmire cafe here real soon.
Excellent. Anytime you're in town, we'd be happy to accommodate. Okay. Seamus, do you read the letters yet, or just keep them with you?
I'll just carry them with me for now.
Okay, sounds good.
Maybe read them on the road to group it down.
Okay, sounds good. You guys get yourselves back into Ripplewood. The town is a little bit more hustling and bustling.
What's the general appearance of people here? Just shabbier, more workmen's.
Yeah, not necessarily shabby, but overalls, thick hide, pants on the hunters, more waterproof leathers on the fishermen. Just kind of the whole thing is just a little bit of kind of a country vibe.
They're mostly elves, humans.
Here, unlike Ripple Top, it's mostly mix of non-bestial humanoids. There's dwarves, lots of humans, several elves.
She's gonna just do a command word on her armor so it changes to match more of their appearance, and then click her heels together so it looks like heavier workman's boots where she walks.
Alright, sounds good.
I do need to find Neva's while we're here. She's the mayor.
Do you know where she would be? There's some place she resides, like an office or her home.
I think she's across the river here.
Yep, easy enough to go and find the spot where you found her house before, and it's probably about 7 or 8 in the morning.
Stand outside for an hour and then wait to knock.
Where? Well, Joe looked like Yaslin. Where is this food?
You guys already got the food.
Okay.
I ate it all.
Yeah, okay, that's fair too. Just gonna. I'll shamelessly. Where'd Seamus go? Oh my god.
Everyone's fearing.
Knock on the mayor's door.
You knock, and a couple moments pass. 2, 3, kind of counts. Then about a minute goes by, there's no answer. But it takes just a moment later, you see kind of above you on like a hay shaft. You see a red-haired woman with a streak of white who comes in like work clothes on, like grabs the side of the rail and says, "Hey! Who's that at my house?"
Top of the morning to you. Seamus Black. We spoke not a week ago, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I remember you. Just a moment. She scuttles down and she comes out and she like kind of tucks like a wrench in her belt coming out of this windmill, kind of wiping her hands. There's some like grease and like grain and wheat dust like on her arm. She's kind of like fucking herself off. Oh, well, welcome back to the mid. It's been a while.
It's great to be here. Yeah, we obviously you've probably heard of the disturbance up the mountain.
More than heard of it. Yeah, we've got several folks staying with us who were displaced by the fire. And, many of us damn saw the blaze. Lit up half the mountain. It was disturbing, to say the least.
It was quite a pitched battle, I have to say. It took quite a number of heroic efforts, including from the one and only Zot Dro champion.
Dude, Dro elbows you in the gut so hard.
He just happens to be here with us here today.
What's a Zot? Zot Dra, that sounds like... Is that the name? Or
It's a formal
was that
title.
or was that the
You'd have-
sneeze?
You'd have to be in on the end to know all about it, but some people in the uppers, they can tell you about it, I suppose, if you ever get out traveling around. But needless to say, it's quite a title. But he earned it, of course, along with the rest of us, for taken off the fire flower as it was, so we're here to collect on the bounty.
The fire flower. Oh, I think I remember seeing that one.
800 gold is what you posted.
Right. That one in particular wasn't mine. I see. Oh. You're gonna want to talk to Zico. He's been raving about that thing for a week, and at some point I just learned to tune him out on that subject, just like everything else. He's not a bad guy. His embellishment is exhausting.
And where can I find this Zicker?
No, probably laying about in his bed. I don't know where he thought he could get 800 gold from, but maybe he's got it.
You'll have it.
And she gives you directions back to Zicker's place, which you have been to once before, which is right up here. It's basically the most upper left village, or thing on the village.
We'll be on our way then. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Ah, good to see you.
Seamus, do you know where the rest of them went?
Where the west...
Just
What's
kind of,
this?
just kind of motions the fact that the only two of us are standing here.
I assume they stuck with the cart.
Just turns and looks across the river.
Only stuck with the car.
I'm gonna say, who do I see over across the river?
Oh, they basically...
running away from the car.
Yaslin, none of us know what you just said. It was just like pure static from your mic.
Excited.
Yeah, is excitement as all of us start moving away
no,
from the
it's alright.
car area. They're just scattered.
Margot would take a look around at the shops and see what they got.
It's pretty basic stuff, like tools, clothes, like things that one would make. It's like kind of going into like a local store inside of like farmland. So that's the sort of stuff you find. You find harnesses and tackle for like animals and fishing rods, cattle prongs, sort of stuff.
Do any of these shops by chance have like a bow? I'm tired of throwing my weapons.
Well, let's see here.
Anything to say?
Well, I mean, I like throwing my weapons. It's just the retrieval is getting a little hard, and when you're like in lake, in like bottomless pits, the ocean, a lake, a mountain, it's kind of hard to find where you throw it.
Yeah, I mean, after asking around for a bit, it's easy enough to like go and talk to like a huntsman that's part of this community, and you know, they have a spare bow.
I'll purchase it and like 20 some arrows.
Okay. Oops, clicking on the wrong link here.
Now I can shoot from long range.
You don't want to pelt any
I
more
don't have to-
rocks?
Oh my gosh. If we ever find a, that's actually amazing. Maybe I'll make like obsidian head arrows. Oh, that'd be so. Okay. Future note. Yaslin will we find a more long-term stopping spot. Commission some obsidian arrows.
A higher quality city that would have workmen to make obsidian arrows.
Listen, I have the obsidian. They would just need to make them. But we're not gonna stay here very long, so I don't wanna.
So Yaslin, are you looking for a crossbow, longbow, short bow?
Just like a longbow.
Okay.
Nothing like fancy necessarily. Just something that I can shoot projectiles.
Okay. Easy enough. You can find a longbow. It's well used. Doesn't seem to be in fabulous condition, but it's not bad either. And because it's not new, he'll go ahead and sell you it for a little discount. He'll give it to you for 35 gold.
I'll do that.
And let's see here. And you can get well, it's not very specific. You can get about 10 arrows for gold piece.
So she'll spend 2 gold for 20 arrows then.
Sounds good.
Alright, I've got
Alright.
that calculated on my sheet.
Okay. So, as Yaslin's having a little shopping excursion, Margot too, let's go ahead and take a break for about 20 minutes and we'll come back. So you guys begin to look around. Yaslin wanders around, kind of asking of a couple of people here and there. Many of them kind of like look at her in awe and surprise. Her general demeanor is a little intense. She eventually finds a longbow, which she purchases with a little bit lower than fresh durability. Margot, you are looking around as well. This place is mostly residential homes and like businesses. These are mostly places that produce something and ship it and sell it elsewhere. This is not necessarily like a merchant town by any means. And you can find a few things. There's a small shopping center in the middle, but it's mostly just like selling vegetables, wheats, the general supplies. Like I mentioned, there are some like hunting supplies, like traps, and whatnot. But mostly this is more benign. This is a normal person's place, not nearly as much an adventurer's place. So if you're looking for something more on the benign side, there's a decent chance you can find it here, but if you're looking for anything that a normal person wouldn't be using on a day-to-day basis, it's unlikely to be here. So Margot, anything in particular that you were searching for?
No, I think she would recognize that this isn't really the town, like a city.
Mm-hmm.
So she would probably just head back to the cart and wait for everyone else.
Okay. Yeah. Yep, this is kind of just a little bumpkin spot along the way. Seamus, you continue up the city until you find a familiar house, and kind of sitting up in some old rafters that kind of poke out of the building that used to be possibly used for loading or unloading some sort of equipment or or hay bales or something, but they look disused. Now you see like a simple pulley, like a little knotted rope that goes up. You see a pair of feet sticking out of a hammock about 15 feet above you on the side of the house. Even before
Sticker!
Ah! Hello! Alright. Who's saying my name? I don't see anybody.
Down here.
Alright, that makes sense. And you see this like old like hillbilly elf like kind of like look over and be like, "Who are you?"
Seamus Black.
How do you know my name?
Oh, we spoke about a week back or so. We were following up on a lead that you had, a bounty.
Bounty.
On the local bounty board, down by the market there, you had posted a bounty for the fire creature that was up on the mountain. I don't suppose you heard about the great fire battle that took place just a few days ago.
Ah, I saw it though. Was that you?
Yeah, the fire elementals and water elementals, and there's a whole kerfuffle going on. But ultimately, what was happening was an invasion, and this firefly was partially responsible. We sent it straight back to hell.
Well, that sounds rather fascinating. Oh, and he, give me a minute. And he kind of like rolls around and like his feet have to like stick in the air as he like tumbles backwards to like reposition himself, and he grabs onto the rope and scurries himself down. And like, he's up close to you. He's like, "Oh yeah, shady fella. I mean, like literally shady. I remember you. And what is it that you are? So you did the thing?
We did indeed.
Huh. Ain't that fancy. So, what kind of proof do you have? I'm not paying out of me pocket without a decent amount of convincing.
Pretty sure we got an eyeball or something. Let me take a look in my pack.
Sure.
Champion!
He is not there yet. He stick back to talk to the mayor.
Didn't we cut off some body part or something to
We
show?
did. Someone has an eye. Or something like that, and I can't remember who.
I thought it was you who had the eye, actually.
Does
James.
Leo have it?
Does Nora have it?
It would make sense that she would have collected it, maybe.
Nora might have it, because I...
But we got her stuff. Like, she dropped all of her gear and we took it.
You
We should have it.
I'm not sure if that's true. I know she dropped her guns, but did she drop her pack? I don't remember that part.
I don't know either.
It was
Okay.
you or Nora who had the eye. I'm pretty sure.
Could see Leo doing it too, though. Like, he definitely was all about collecting on the bounty and would have been down to, like,
Yeah, it
bring proof.
wasn't... But it was the,
I don't see it in Leo's kit.
What was... Is this the water, horse who ended up giving us that eye, and then we delegated who it was going to be, and based off of potentially having been shot in the back. Yaslin was hesitant to give it to Leo.
So I know, yeah.
Let me look at my notes.
So, just for ease of use here,
I don't have it in my notes.
no, because you guys met the Kieran at the end after Nora had run off.
Yeah,
Um,
but I don't.
No, Nora was still there when we met the Kieran. Because we met it
intervene.
during the fight with the Fireflower.
Yeah, it was. So the Fireflower fight happened, and then we went to the Kieran's like secret hideout
rest.
place
Mm-hmm.
to rest, and that's when the Kieran gave us the eye as kind of like a here's part of your bounty that you forgot to pick up because we were all wrecked.
Yeah, so Nora ran off at the very end of the fight, and the Kieran didn't pick up the eye until afterwards when things had kind of calmed down, and it informed you that both eyes were missing, or one eye was missing already.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Well, Nora ran
So-
after the genie fight, not the Fireflower fight.
There was two pretty fire themed fights.
Yeah.
Oh,
she
yeah,
was
yeah,
at
you're
the
right.
end
Yep.
after the portal closing and everything.
Yep, you're right. So the Kieran went back after the Jinn fight and picked up the eye, but that was already after Nora had fled.
So then I'm pretty sure Seamus has it then.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I just found a note that says, I take large obsidian eye. Is it large in obsidian? Because I
Yes,
think
it
that's
is.
it. Okay, I've got it.
Mm-hmm.
Should have put it in my inventory.
Okay. All right. So Seamus, you get the large obsidian eye out and show it to Zicker.
Definitely.
Well, look at there. You said, wait, this is like just a ball of sphere of rock. How's this show that you killed a monster?
This is the obsidian eye of the monster. Obviously, you can tell right here at the edge, and I point around the back as I subtle cast.
Oh, that's nasty. And there is, like, even without you casting anything, there is a little, like, tendril in the back of it.
Nice.
It's not
I'm
like
definitely
a perfect
gonna.
sphere.
I'm just gonna suggest this also and just say, so we'll be taking our 800 gold now.
Oh, sure. Dang it, I thought I got that concentrator thing fixed today.
That might be from. I rolled it from D&D Beyond because I was looking through my inventory.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sure, what's his save? It's a wisdom?
Yeah, Wisdom 15.
Wow.
What's this guy's problem?
The good news is you didn't need the spell.
Excellent. Just what the
oh,
things next.
That's right. Nasty. Ah. Right, so. Well, you did it then. What was it? I mean, Fireflower, the best that I could do is describing it when I saw it crawl out of the mountain there. But it, I never got a good look at it. But it some flower had an eye made out of rock.
Some kind of giant monster creature. I mean, 4 legs, lived in the lava. I don't know what you call it. Some called it a salamander. I don't know what that is.
Well, I'll be. A fiery critter of some sort that's massive. That's quite the feat. Oh, well, yep, well. Seems you've did the service that I ought to pay you for. So, give me just a moment. I'm retired now, but I made a darn tootin' good living off of fishing around the world. And, give me just a bit. Let me go. I'll tell you the secrets of my success. Come on in. Inside. And he goes into his room. Oh, no, not that way, this way. And he goes on up, and you can see him, like, reach above a cabinet or a dresser, and, like, there's a trident on the wall. First glance, it looks kind of shoddy, and then you see it, and it actually looks like it's composed of different pieces of sea creatures and kelp and shells and such. Kind of plucks it off the wall. It goes back down the ladder with it. And he hands it over to you. He says, "This is best thing I ever did find. This, I call it, my lucky piece. As soon as I saw that thing on the mountain, I knew that it was worth getting rid of that beast, even if it meant I had to give up this. I've had it appraised once. It's about roughly 800 gold. So if you take it in the next town, you can probably sell it for that much. I don't have literal cash on me."
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely get enchantment magic off of it. Said I've used it to fight off a few beasties before. Nothing too big or scary for, big fancy adventurer folk like you. But the humble little elven fisherman like me, it was good enough. But the best thing is all those fishing competitions I won. She did. This here lets me control things that swim. I call it my fishy juju stick.
We're gonna have to work on the name, but that should suffice for payment.
Rightly so. And he goes to hand it over, and as you grab it and kind of holds onto it, it's just, sorry, just been with me a long time. Right, so there we go. It's all yours now, Mr. Black.
Oh, you've done a good service to the people of your town here by hiring quality professionals. And if you need somebody again, just start asking for the friendly friends.
Oh, you're gonna have to work on that name. Do you have somebody in marketing? Maybe they can help you out there.
We're working on it.
Sure. Rightly so. But, he takes off his hat, and, as he does, he's got, a perfect line around his head of just baldness, probably somewhere between, old age and just, he wears the hat all the time. He's just, rubbed his head shiny bulb, holds it over his heart. Mr. Black, I sincerely appreciate what you and your friends have done for us. Not many pay attention to those who can't do much for themselves other than scrape out a living.
Well, it's nothing but a few days' work, and we were happy to help out. I appreciate you being a man of your word and paying your dues.
Rightly so. It's only the right thing to do. Well, my dogs are freaking out in the background for some reason.
A good
Well,
day to you, then.
good day to you. You be careful out there. Seems you're capable, but if that little juju stick taught me anything, is there's always a bigger fish. Now, if you don't mind, he kind of like reaches his arms up and like cracks all over his body, like. That's good. Oh, it's time for me to return to my well-deserved nap.
Does the juju stick have a special word that makes it work, or anything that I need to know about? Just concentrate on the fish and tell it what to do?
It's just said booga booga. But it's one of the few words that underwater kind of sounds like it does above water, so booga booga kind of worked out.
So just a booga booga with a juju stick it is. I got it.
Right. You understand. He kind of like winks awkwardly at you. And starts climbing back up his rope very deftly. And like gets back in his... Pulls his hat down over his eyes and just starts singing whistling a little song to himself.
Just keep swimming. Champ! Where'd you go?
Snap
Yep.
the bear before she walks off. This would have happened as Seamus walked away.
Yeah, is there something else you needed?
Yeah, one question. How frequently is your mail picked up here?
Well, we pretty much it's a couple of times a week for physical delivery.
What about
If you need something faster, I don't know, sometimes a Nuok messenger comes by.
and then out of that, would I know how easy it is to get one of them?
Depends on where you are in the world that there are higher concentrations of them. Bigger cities have essentially post offices. Have you seen a Nuok since you were in the camping?
We did. So when we came to the city and we started leaving again, we ran into one.
Mm-hmm.
And just crossed paths with them.
Gotcha. Yep. So you know that they just wander around. Sometimes being in the wilderness is enough to find people who need to send messages back and forth and such. But it's a little sparse. You can purchase additional items from them that kind of like summon them within about a day to your location. You don't have one at the moment.
Okay. I had just received a letter and I was wanting to get a response back. fairly quickly. But I know I'd cross paths. Remind me again what they're called, Morgan. The mail delivery.
The mail carriers?
Yeah.
Nuox.
Nuox. I had crossed paths previously with Nuoc last time we left here, so I was wondering if the frequency of them was high, but it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Oh, well, that one? Yeah, they cycle around about once every 3 days or so. I guess we saw them yesterday, so another 2 days and they should be back.
Do you know, and maybe not, how frequently they patrol down at Ripple Bottom?
Well, a bit more than they do here. More people, more fancy folk. Lots more communication that needs, expediency.
I understand that. Okay. Sounds like I could have a better shot once we get down there.
Possibly, yeah.
He just kind of puts his head down. It's like, okay. I appreciate your help. I imagine you're a very busy woman, and I think I hear my companion screaming. So that could either be good or bad. So.
Well, that sounds like y'all should be on your way.
Yes.
Screaming's not much of a big thing around here.
He just kind of looks. You have not met Yaslin. And he just starts to walk towards Seamus, yelling.
Well, I'm off to get a few things myself. See you later.
Goodbye. Seamus up here.
There you are.
What is with everybody yelling?
Well, I can't talk in your mind. Well, actually, that's from that distance.
I was just having a conversation, and honestly, didn't know you wandered off. So, did you find who you were looking for?
Yeah, not to worry. Collected on a bounty here.
Good.
Then you very clearly see a trident in his hands.
He's
got-
really escalated.
Did you bite him?
Not that far. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with the trident, to be honest with you, but apparently it's got some magical properties.
He just kind of stares at it. Okay. You just gonna carry it around, I guess?
Oh, I got so many options.
He just holds out the bag of holding. Do you think it would fit in here? Is it about the same size as Stroh's quarterstaff? That is
About the same, yeah.
that is in the bag. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll put it in the bag if it'll go in the bag.
Just holds it out and just like leans away from it.
Yeah, it slides right in, just disappears.
It's a hell of a bag.
Yes. What does that do exactly? Besides stab.
You can communicate with a fish, I guess. Marine creatures, maybe more than just the fishes.
Interesting. Don't we have dolphin for that?
I'm not sure if he can or not. I suppose so.
I mean,
Well, this would just be another way to talk with the fishes.
maybe we can actually understand what he says. If, he ever turns into a dolphin. Or something other.
That's a solid point. I'll have him take a gander at it.
Yeah, let's just not let Margot touch it, because the last time she touched a magical item, We went on an adventure.
Probably wouldn't hand it over to Yaslin either. She'd probably just throw it at something.
She 110% would.
Offensive, but this is untrue.
Truth hurts.
Why I was quiet.
Alright, well, it concerns me that they are nowhere to be seen. So we might want to go
They're
find
just at this point they're just waiting for you guys to get to town.
Yasmin's like on the roof of the carriage, just kind of like filing her nails, casually waiting. A little impatiently, maybe.
Making our way. Can I do a perception just to see who's around us? If anything, again, sticks out. I know we're in a whole different kind of area compared to what Rippletop was. Mostly just taking in, I guess, the surroundings for the most part.
Okay, yeah, give me a perception check.
23.
23.
Yes.
Yeah, give me a sec, sorry.
You're good.
You look around and there's it's a new space. Things look very normal overall. But there is a sensation that you are kind of like being watched. And as you're looking around, being a little bit on edge, just because you usually are. Just not on edge, I guess, just more like being cognizant and aware that threats could come from anywhere. You see like a little something off the top of one of the rocky cliffs nearby. Like you turn your head and something shifts out of the way, a couple of rocks fall down.
What direction?
It's kind of in this southwestern position.
You just seen some
Maybe 200 feet off.
Yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't make out any details.
No.
Okay. I'll just take note of that. Continue to walk with Seamus.
Anything else you guys want to do in this town before you head out?
I'm good.
Sorry for the delay, everyone. I think we can head out. Do we need another horse?
It's
I don't think the dolphin can always help you bear the load.
right. I suppose not. Honestly, my payment will go through once we're a little further down in the downs. And I've got favorable trade there that I can pick up a new horse. No, it's not really worthwhile to do it up here. Dolphin, do you mind helping out again? The three can manage, of course, it'll just be a little bit slower. And if you like, I can pay you for your efforts.
Well, if the three can manage, then these horses should be able to pull it just fine. I mean, sure, it'll be some extra hard work for these poor animals, but well, they could do it.
I do believe that this easy decision is best left up to the horses.
Well, of course it is.
He's gonna walk over to one of the horses and just gently place his hand on the side of the horse, and he's going to say, "Hello, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling well rested?"
And pause down, like in a good mood.
Well, if you're in the middle, we have a little bit longer to go. But unfortunately, your fourth companion will not be returning. Do you believe that you would be able to continue along our path for a few more hours? Or would you like some additional help?
They all kind of like look at each other. Roll an animal handling check for me, please. This is not so much your skill at this, more like just
16.
16. Okay, you kind of get like a general sense of like there's some pride in them that like they want to show off and get a little extra exercise.
Cool. I will go ahead and turn to everyone else, and I will say, the horses are ready to go. You are also ready to go.
That's just grand. Then we can get going. Thanks for checking with the horses.
Yes, it's always good to ask things that are doing all of the work, if they are still going to do all of the work. They're simply passengers on this ride.
Okay. So you guys all gather up and start heading out of the village here.
Joe's hopping back up on top of the wagon.
Oh, you're going to join me.
Oh god, you're sitting up here too. Okay. Just sit in the same spot, dangling his feet. I feel sorry for
That's
whoever's
good.
down there.
Okay, who's going to take the monumental task of rolling the D100?
Can do it.
Let's see, Marco.
I'll eat this one.
I have face.
Let's see how well her dice truly are cleansed.
40?
Okay. 40.
They're green now.
I confused me for a
Alright.
minute.
My magic's green now.
I know. I was like, what? It's because you're mad.
Mm.
I know that.
Okay. That. Come on now. Alright. You guys get down on the road and. Alright. There's really not much going on. It's quiet, simple. Things are mild. There's almost a sense of like wrongness about it being kind of too easy. And part of you are just kind of just a little bit bored because nothing does happen.
Can I read the letters?
Of course.
Are they both legible, or is one of them written with crown and like has like sparkles and like heart shapes and flowers, an acorn?
That's exactly what it is. Like, you undo it and like it's not like wax which like breaks off and like comes cleanly. It's sap. So like as you take it, like first of all it kind of like sticky stretches and it doesn't really like snap off at all. It kind of just like bends over with the paper. You kind of have to like, I don't know, like wipe it on something or like use your knife and like get it out of the way or somehow. It is.
You'll see like a bunch of like shadowy hands come up and like rub against my own hand, you know, like in the way that like you like rub stuff off your own fingers, but I would just use like shadow hands to do it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And inside it is a series of essentially scribbles and different things that it looks essentially like the notes that were on Nim's map. It's basically unintelligible, but give me an insight check against Nim's handwriting to see if you can discern any information out of it. A 12. It's basically like you're trying to depict like hieroglyphs, more like, because it's all just pictures. There's no words.
Did she draw a croissant anywhere, or a crumpet, or like?
Yep, you see a crumpet, and you see like an axe, and like a badly drawn turtle in the three of them, and like a little like dash 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 to like an X. That looks like it went up into the right somehow, kind of like in the northern portion of the continent, like and from Nim's drawing back then, you do see that she did show you kind of like the series of X's that she had marked to try to find someone like her. It seemed to descend from the north down, and there was like a picture of a forest. And that's about all you get from it.
How about the second one?
The second one is much more. It's a little bit heavy-handed, but the penmanship is quite nice. And it says, "Dear Seamus, I hope this finds you well. Nim and I have been looking after Nordicus for some time. His condition has not changed. So we are temporarily putting our mission on hold and going to find a place of healing. Nim assures us that there is such a place in her homeland. There's somebody she wants us to meet that may be able to help. We're not sure. I'm not sure how effective this will be. They were never good, but I missed Crumpets. And his bright demeanor. If you ever need us, figure out a way to send us a message, magically or somehow, or come looking in the deep glade. That's what Nim calls it. Hopefully something there will be of use. Hope you are well. Your friend, Court.
Sounds like the others have traveled to get some healing for our friend Nord. They went to the deep glade. I'm not really sure where that is. I've got a map, but to be honest, it's not very helpful.
You said deep glade?
Yeah, somewhere to the northwest, I think.
What?
That ring any bells?
Yeah, I was gonna say, does that ring any bells?
Roll me a history check, but it's a geography check.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, that's a dirty 20.
Nat 20, 30, 20.
Wow.
Dro, yes. Yaslin, so both of you, yes. Oh boy. Dro, so Aurora's Rest is on the tip of the peninsula. It's the closest place to the northern ice cap from any continent. You haven't been into every continent, and you don't even know the geography super well, but that's one of the points that people love to make in there. It's the furthest northern established city. It's kind of like a point of pride for them. So you had to travel kind of southeast through some mountains, and you could have kind of like followed the coast down, but because of what you were instructed for, you went through some mountains, and on the other side of the mountain is a very large forest. And you know the geography that, like, if she's saying, like, from where you're at, like a northeastern forest, or something that could respectively be called a deep glade, and you knowing Nim, and that she just makes words up for whatever she can, you figure that it is the forest that you passed through. You didn't go very far in, you just came down off the mountains and like went through kind of the furthest side of it. It's well known for having like large creatures in it and kind of like wild, abundant nature there. Crap. I did not have a name for this thing beyond Deep Glade because I was only thinking in Nim's terms. So let me get you that name in a bit, but you know exactly what it is. Yaslin, you know of it because of where you're from. The Tolni live in the forest, but one much further south. And even though you can technically follow a line of like trees that kind of like ebbs and flows, thins and widens all the way up to the northern part of the continent, it's considered a very different entity from where you're from.
Bro, do you have your bag with you up there?
Yes.
I was wondering if we could show Dolphin the trident.
Just like rolls over, leans his head over the side in the window,
Holds his leg so he doesn't potentially fall off.
and he'll pull out a trident out of his bag and slide it through the window to Seamus. Just super awkwardly. I can't imagine it being super simple to slide it through a window.
It's awkward,
Don't
but
stab yourself.
manageable.
Dolphin, what do you make of this? Right.
Would appear to be a shrine.
It's not just any trident. Look at all these sea creatures, and this is a starfish right here, I think. What is this one?
I will go ahead and roll any checks to see what creatures I can discern.
Sure. And just a second while I do something here. Yeah, go ahead and give me a nature check and Arcana check, Dolphin.
I'm into conch shell.
So, 15.
Nature, it's obvious that there's, some sort of shell, some sort of like hardened tentacle on it, and some coral. So it's some things you recognize the general like family of, but you don't know any specifics for it. Arcana-wise, these things are definitely magically fused. There's no way that these things would like be in this pattern, this close together, kind of like merged into each other without Arcana or without magic being a part of it. And you immediately kind of get a sense of like depth in this thing. Like it's not just like a mundane thing, it's something more.
There's something about this I know. Somebody put a lot of care into the way that it was crafted.
It's definitely magical in nature. Apparently, you can use it to communicate with marine creatures.
Ah, that would be very helpful for if something like Leo. Is that all that it does?
It's got 3 stabby bits at the end of it, I imagine, that can come in handy.
Ah, it is more stabby bits than my spear.
That's quite a mathematical upgrade, really.
Yes, I'm curious. Where did you get something like this?
I think I talked to you earlier about the bounty and beauty of private enterprise.
This was something that you did mention yesterday before we left, yes. You are interested in this wagon spending your money in very many places.
Independent contracting, wealth distribution,
Yes.
residual income, it all comes together to build something. And sometimes along the way you get an item or two like this, something that might, as you say, be helpful. And that is the beauty of the private enterprise. You should consider maybe.
What you seek in wealth, I find in knowledge. I do not have much use for wealth, and even then, the wealth that I do have does not translate to the wealth of this region. What we trade on the coast is not what is traded here, and it is not all important to me to be purchasing things for the future and buying a big estate. There's far too much I must learn and far too many places I must go to settle down and have a lot of wealth. And thus, there is no use to have to travel all the way back to one city and get your money from a bank.
Is there like credit banking in this universe? Is there like
That's a great question.
Oh, absolutely there is.
is it like a card, like a neuro implant? How does it work?
Depends on where you get it from.
Like a seashell that you swipe between a couple of, like a clam or something?
It's just a pair of coconut shells that you go.
Oh,
It depends on where you are. From where you're from, Seamus. It's more seedy than that. It's like you can borrow against your name, but if you don't pay it back, they'll break your kneecaps and kill you, sort of deal. There are more mundane and gentler versions of that, but that's the one you are primarily familiar with. Not that you are unfamiliar with any other versions, but you know the inner workings of that one very well.
the purpose of accumulating wealth is to gain access to things like knowledge. Not all libraries are just public. Not all knowledge is readily available. Sometimes you have to be able to pay for access. And that is where wealth comes in handy.
I suppose that is true. I have yet to come across a library that requires more. And the most things that I can find in the bookshop, I can find in the library one.
Well, if you've got it all made out, then it sounds like I don't need to worry about putting you in the contracts.
Not that interesting enough. I'm just very interested in our mutual connection as we do. I think that perhaps with an understanding, we will not need these contracts. But I would be more than willing to discern information that might be helpful to you and your ability to continue accruing wealth, so long as on occasion perhaps you help me out with a few purchases, just in case I need something.
You're a strange man, Dolphin, but I'm so glad that you're traveling with us. It's important to have multiple perspectives on things. And I surely will keep an eye out on anything that you need as long as I can keep an eye on your piggy bank for you.
Well, if you're interested in piggy bank, I currently have 15 of these coins that are used in this region. I have no use for them. I think that
For just a second there, I thought you were going to tell me about a group of swine that you made friends with.
I have not actually met swine before. I have seen them, but I have never walked them before. I have heard from many other smaller animals that they are a little bit smelly at times.
It can be, yeah. You might see one out on our travels.
I suppose I might have to talk with him. Here, this. I have no use for it. I have 15 gold pieces.
Much appreciated. I'll make sure that your expenses are covered where we can.
And tell me, in this even exchange, so that way I might put up my department, is there any information that you are currently seeking that I would be able to help you find, or perhaps tell you if I happen to know it myself?
Well, my employer is going to want to meet you, that's for sure. And whatever information that you've got, that'll be a great time to give it up. So if you would, just keep that in mind.
Very well. Your employer is the skilled knowledge person, yes?
From time to time. But yes,
Okay. That was what I was waiting for. Yes or no. Very well. I am already excited to meet this person and talk to this person. I am sure that we can perhaps talk for many hours. There must be so much information to share.
there's no end to it as far as I can tell.
You know, I once knew about this person. Dun, dun, dun.
This whole time, Dro's head's just sitting in the window listening, hanging over the
Honestly,
side.
Yaslin's head's like kind of like leaning it from the opposite side into the other window listening.
Like at one point, both of us are reaching over to keep each other from falling, but leaning
We're just
over.
kind of like legs are kind of like overlapping.
Just kind of like crisscrossing ankles and like swinging over the sides on both ends.
Yeah.
Just listening to this whole thing.
Dro and Yaslin, the name of that forest is Lectures Green. As you guys are conversing and kind of getting to know each other a little bit, who's going to roll the last check on your way down to Ripple Downs?
Go ahead and do it this time. Can't be worse than a 1.
Oh, this one could
It
be really
literally
difficult.
can't.
It's a
63. Okay. Okay, again, it's uneventful. You used up all of your excitement karma the night before. And in the middle of the day here, nothing's bothering you. Doesn't take very much longer. Easy to have more conversation and such. But pretty quickly, you get yourselves back down to Ripple Downs.
Is everyone in the wagon, or is someone sitting up front? Well, I know Dro and Yaslin are on top of the wagon, but
But Marco can sit up front.
okay. I think eventually Dro would get so bored he would start pestering Marco.
Oh no. Do like 21 questions again.
It's more of just like bumping her with his foot or something. Literally bored out of his mind. Nothing. He's not gonna whittle in front of you, so
Well,
he's got
fair
nothing better to
enough.
do.
You see, this is the kind of behavior which is why she invades your privacy, I feel like.
Hey, she did this before, so
And doesn't take very much longer before You finally see and break through the final bit of canopy in the border of the forest. Can everybody see? Okay. Familiar for a couple of you, but unfamiliar to most.
Is there two of me on my screen?
Oh, possibly. I was only seeing one, so I had to drag a new one on.
No, I see two of them. Don't worry, it's my evil twin.
Not again.
Yeah, no. No.
I still only see one Yaslin.
I see one.
I only see one.
Oh, there we go.
There's the
Hiding
other.
under a dwarf. Okay. Guys, come through and the forest gives way to very highly decorated roads with polished stone, brick, even woodwork, lovely bridge, and there is a bustle of people and things going on. It is very energetic here. The space is quite alive, vibrant. The colors and the lights, the smells, everything here is grandiose and exciting by comparison. And you roll up and you just see lots of people. It's like you finally kind of come through the gates, come through a smaller little bit of residential area and roll up into what you see as the sign outside, familiar to Leo and Seamus. It reads Downs Square. And as you come back in, you get a waft of delicious pastry kind of filling the air around you. And that is where we will end for the night.